In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the world's first glasses-free 3D handheld gaming PC. What I've got here is the all-new Abxylute 3D1. It's definitely one of the most interesting handhelds to be released in 2025, and as you can see, we've got an absolutely massive display. In fact, it's a 10.95-inch screen that supports glasses-free 3D technology. You can enable it or disable it, so you could run this in 2D mode. But basically, it uses the front camera system to track your eyes and face movement and give you that real 3D look on the screen when it's enabled. It's pretty cool technology. It's definitely not the first time that we've seen it, but it is the first time that we've seen it implemented in a handheld gaming PC. Earlier this year, in January at CES, I actually did see this unit, but it was built by Tencent, so it does look like it's kind of a rebranded unit by Abxylute, but we weren't ever able to get it over here in the States, so I'm glad that somebody's done this. And inside of the box, along with the unit that I received, I did get a few extra accessories. We've got a carrying strap for the included case, USB Type-C cable, a 100-watt PD power supply, a controller mounting system because this does have detachable controllers, plus we've got a detachable keyboard which also kind of acts as like a folio case to cover that screen up front. When it comes to I/O, up top here, we've got our micro SD card slot, a 3.5mm audio jack, two Thunderbolt 4 ports, a full-size USB 3.2 port, volume rocker, power button, and our 3D switch. First things first, I wanted to show you these detachable controllers. It's got a little locking mechanism here. We're going to pull it off just like we've seen with the 1X player devices and the Legion Go or the Legion Go 2. And with the controller midsection, we can just slide them right on here. There's also trackpads built in, which function really well for a Windows handheld device. We also have the detachable keyboard, so basically this is also a 3-in-1. It's a laptop, a tablet, and a handheld gaming console. And with that keyboard, we can just fold it right up. It's going to lock with those magnets, got the built-in kickstand, and we're good to go. We can throw this right in the backpack. And of course, when it comes to the overall specs, this is powered by the Intel Core Ultra 7 258V. This is the same chip that we see in the MSI Claw 8 AI, so we've got a lot of power here. It's got 8 cores, 8 threads, up to 4.8 GHz on those performance cores. Graphics are handled by the Intel Arc A140V GPU with 8 Xe2 cores, and this will clock up to 1,950 MHz. 32 gigs of on-chip memory, so this is actually baked into the CPU. It's running at 8,533 megatransfers per second. It comes with a 1TB M.2 SSD pre-installed, but we also have that micro SD card slot up top. And as for the display, it's a 10.95-inch, 120Hz glasses-free 3D LTPS screen. It's got a resolution of 2560 by 1600, 480 nits of brightness, and it's 100% sRGB. Abxylute really hasn't explained how the 3D technology works here, but it does look like we've got a camera system and kind of a depth sensor up front. With the 3D enabled on the display, it will give you a little indicator on the screen, letting you know if you're in the correct position. I don't believe it's completely tracking each eye. I believe it's kind of using that depth sensor and just scanning your face itself. But in my full review, if I get the real information from Abxylute, I will let everybody know exactly how it works. Taking a look at the handheld, it's pretty massive, as you can see. It's not super thick, but the way they've got this designed, it's actually pretty comfortable to hang on to. Got those rounded edges, and you do move your hands kind of way up the unit to get to those buttons. But once you're in position, you can reach all of the buttons super easily. Got these linear triggers around back, and there is a little bit of vibration with the triggers, which is really nice. D-pad would be nice if it was a separated D-pad. In my full review, we'll be testing that. But the trackpad over here actually works pretty well for a Windows handheld with the trackpad. We've seen several hit the market, and nothing's really come close to what the Steam Deck has. But yeah, they're definitely getting there with this. We've also got a couple extra buttons up front, and this is for the built-in Abxylute software. There's a nice little launcher, plus we have a quick menu. I've just connected this to my game capture so I could give you a closer look at the software, and I do like the interface. It's pretty snappy here. Looks pretty decent for what we have. It's actually a nice little launcher, and even though we have this 3D display, it doesn't mean that every single game is going to work properly in 3D mode. And that's where the 3D Game Mod Manager comes in. Once we enter this, if we move down to the converted games, you can see right there we've got Hogwarts Legacy, and it doesn't require any optimization to go 3D. Moving down a bit more, kind of gives you an idea of other games that are going to work properly that you can find in Steam. There's also mod management, and right now, if I go to add mod, I'm not sure if it's just not scanning properly, but the only thing I'm seeing here is the 3D mod for Steam games demo, and I do think that this will be updated in the future. But other than that, there's a ton of games here that are going to work, like Skyrim Special Edition is going to work, Sniper Elite 4, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and so on and so on. So there's a ton of stuff that's going to work right out of the box pretty decently. And to get into 3D mode, obviously it's not going to work with game capture because it's a non-3D display that I'm using externally with it. But if we flip the switch up top, what you're going to see on screen is a bit of blurriness. But up at the top is where I wanted to show you. We've got that little dot right at the top, and when you're positioned correctly, this is going to be green. If you kind of move out of frame or have the camera covered, it's going to go yellow on us. So green to yellow. But this is going to let you know that, yeah, that tracking is working here properly when that dot is green. And for the most part, I mean, I can move pretty far out of range from it, and it still seems to do a pretty decent job with 3D. Unfortunately, through a YouTube video, you're just not going to see the 3D because you don't have a 3D display. This needs to be right in front of you to see it. And again, we've got that little indicator up top just to let you know if you're in the correct position. And other than the game launcher and that 3D mod manager, up top here we can search. We've got some settings. So we've got our Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, the display, so we can change the brightness from here, resolution, refresh rate, got sound and performance settings. So we've got 3 different modes: quiet, balanced, high performance mode. High performance is a little over 30 watts boost, just like the MSI Claw 8 AI. We've got that same chip, the Intel Core Ultra 258V, and we're seeing pretty much the same kind of performance there. We've also got an update section here, so when updates are available, you can do it directly from the software. And if we just exit right to the desktop, we've got another quick menu. Makes it really easy to kind of access everything we need from here. So we've got that Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, sound, 3D display, our performance modes, and there's a fan boost. I'll tell you, in a high performance mode with the fan boost on, this thing can get pretty loud, but I really haven't had to enable it, and I've been playing most everything on this in the high performance mode recently. I did run a couple benchmarks, and the first one we have here is Geekbench 6. It's fallen right in line with other 258V powered devices, looking at a single core of 2,675, multi 10,355. I also ran 3D Mark Time Spy, and on my initial run in performance mode here, we got a total score of 4,459. This is great for an iGPU. Even the Z2 Extreme can't hit this right now, so it's really nice to see that 258V is trucking right along with this unit. But these are synthetic benchmarks, and now I want to move over to some real-world gaming. First up, we've got Cyberpunk 2077, 1200p, medium settings, XeSS set to balanced. Not horrible, but we're not quite hitting 60. I mean, dropping that resolution down will get us up to 60. Or what we could do here is enable Intel's new XeSS frame gen. This is actually some of my favorite frame gen on the market right now. So we're still at 1200p medium. I've just enabled that XeSS frame generation, plus their low latency mode. And I mean, it feels great like this. I'm seeing averages in the mid 90s, which is exactly what we should be seeing out of the 258V with frame gen on at medium settings out of this system. But I think we may be able to get more. And in my full review, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Next one I tested here was Forza Horizon 5. We're at 1200p medium, but we're only at a 20 watt TDP. We're seeing averages in the mid 80s with it, and it feels good like this. So with this chip at 1200p, we don't need any kind of scaling. If you wanted to add a little bit of XeSS like quality, it's still going to look great, and it's going to take you up about 5 more frames, but I think this is perfect the way it is. And the final one I tested for this video was GTA 5 Enhanced Edition, 1200p high settings with no scaling. I do wish they would have added XeSS with this, but they only added FSR. Either way, I don't think we need it here. You can see we're up over 90 FPS on average, and I had a feeling this was going to run just fine on this system. I've tested this on other 258V powered devices, and performance was great over there. First impressions here, yeah, it's definitely a big handheld. It's actually way more comfortable than I thought it would be. Is the 3D kind of gimmicky? In my opinion, yeah. I don't think a lot of people are going to want a 3D display. If you are one of those people, I mean, it's here. It's pretty cool to see this technology come to a handheld gaming PC, though. There are a few little software issues here and there that I think Abxylute can iron out pretty quickly. I've already sent over a little bit of a log, just kind of things that I've run into, like the fact that PL1 and PL2 power profiles here are the exact same. And on this Intel Core Ultra 258V, PL1 needs to be at least 1 watt lower than PL2. So I think we could get better performance out of this thing by adjusting that. And if it's not fixed by then, I mean, we could do it with a third-party app in my full review video. So I will be spending more time with this, and if there's any games you want to see tested on this thing in that full review video, just let me know in the comments below. They will be launching either an Indiegogo or a Kickstarter for this soon. I'll leave links to their official website in the description. But that's going to wrap it up for our first look at the Abxylute 3D one. It'd be really cool if you could hit that like button and think about subscribing so you know when I post the next one. And like always, thanks for watching.